Yo, what's going on, fam? I saw this interesting video, and it was addressing whether there is such thing as talking white. And my honest opinion, I think that it is, and it isn't. I think that a person using or a person putting to use the correct usage of vocabulary is not necessarily a white thing. Like people generalize whiteness with saying things the way that they're supposed to say, and I wouldn't say that. But I can say that there are certain expressions that are used by whites more often than blacks. There are colloquialisms, there are terms that are popular among white people, and sometimes it depends on where you come from. Like if you're from the north and you come to the south, let's say like Atlanta, to a northern person, both of these individuals, blacks and whites, have the southern accent, right? But there are certain things that whites in the south, even with a southern accent, don't say that blacks in the south, blacks in Atlanta would say. You know, certain words, certain terms. So in a sense, there is a way, if you've ever been to like Michigan or you've been to Chicago, there's a certain way that white people in that area speak and say things. Blacks in Chicago, from my observation, a lot of them still have more of a southern accent because a lot of their ancestors, a lot of their families migrated from like Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, things like that. So there's a touch of that southern dialect with them, and whites speak another way. So what the crazy thing about it is that I'll give you an example, I think, of how it is too. I'm from Baltimore, as most of you guys know who are subscribed to this channel. And it's a certain way that we would say things. And I don't know if I say them the same way because I can recognize speech now. And not saying that I necessarily done away with it because I'm embarrassed or anything. It's just that I can actually hear how it sounds. And, you know, I say things a little different. But I had a cousin from New Jersey. His name was Pito. My cousin was like black and he was Hispanic. And in Baltimore, if we were describing something, let's just say like fruit, we wouldn't call a cranberry a cranberry. We would say cranberry. We would say strawberry. So when my cousin from New Jersey, and he's like I said, he's black. He's a person of color. He's black and he's Puerto Rican, and he would say strawberry. And to us, that sounds so white. That sounded so different. Like, yo, that sounds weird. Like strawberry, just like that. She said strawberry. You can hear strawberry. And we were like, we just say strawberry like that. So that sound like really weird and whatever like that. But I'm not going to necessarily say that if a person speaks properly, that's white. You know what I mean? Like, why does everything prim and proper have to relate to somebody to whiteness? I'm just going to say, and then to say how, you know, talking white, it depends on where you're going to. I forgot that that famous football player. Oh my God, he just was inducted into the Football Hall of Fame. He's from West Virginia. Oh my God, I forgot his name. If you see my comments, please remind me of his name. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to honestly tell you, if I didn't know he was black, I would think he was like some white guy from like up in the mountains somewhere, like a trailer park. And you know who I'm talking about. I forget his name at the moment. It escapes me. I wish I could remember this guy's name because my homeboy is from West Virginia, and we talk about him all the time. But the way he sounds, we gotta go around there and do things the way we, you know, like football. When I was on some football, blah, blah, blah. That's how he sounds to me. Like he sounds like some. I just imagine a big burly white guy in like camouflage, you know, jumper and John Deere hat with a big beard. Like this guy, this particular football player, when I hear him, this is what he reminds me of. So, you know, in that sense, yeah, you would think this and that. So like I said, I don't believe that speaking standard English is necessarily being white or talking white, but I do believe that there is a way that whites say certain things. There are ways that blacks say certain things, and sometimes it depends on where you're from or what part of the country you're from. You know, you gotta understand, like, parts of speech. A lot of black people were at one time from West Africa, and then you had white people who were from certain parts of Europe, and it depends on who taught, you know, black people, you know, English. Because in New Orleans, there was a lot of French people. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, like I said, maybe other immigrants from Europe that were in New Orleans, but when you hear black people talk, you hear a little bit of that Southern accent, you hear a little bit of the French, you hear a little bit of the West African, and then a little something else. So vocabulary can get really deep, but I do believe that there is a way to speak white. For instance, like when I hear people say, I love this food so much. I mean, like, food is so delicious. It's so delish. Or like, come on, sissy, are you going with us to the mall? Like, black people, as a rule of thumb, we don't, when we're talking about, when we're like, I've never grown up, no matter what area a black person is from, I've never heard of them refer to a female friend or even her sister as sissy. Like, oh my God, I was having lunch with sissy and it was so delish. Like, black people that I know don't express themselves like that. No matter East, West Coast, North, South, we don't. When we say the word sissy, a lot of times it used to refer to somebody that's homosexual. But white people really do. Like, so that's colloquialisms. That's for them, that they use a lot. You know, even the way that you say food. I'm saying I'm hungry, I want some food. But I've heard whites say, oh my goodness, I mean, the food. It's like FEWD, food, was so, I'm going to go home. Go. You know what I mean? Go. It's the way that people say things, and it's not about enunciating the whole word. Just like, even, I'm not going to say the profane words, I'm not going to curse. But there is a way that whites say, when they say MF, they say mother, you know, mother. And blacks will say ma, you hear the ma, and they mother. Even the word, when you say goddamn, blacks will say got. They'll say God. Whites will say God. You know what I mean? The word. Black people say God, like G-O-T, God. And whites will say God. You know, it's different. So that there are differences. Like I said, to me, just speaking standard English is not necessarily speaking white. Speaking slang is not necessarily black. I mean, like I said, I know plenty of New Yorkers, you know, Brooklyn, some of Italian origin, some of Jewish origin or whatever, especially the Italians, they use a lot of slang. And a lot of the slang that blacks have gotten, a lot of us have gotten some of that slang from like old gangster movies. You know what I mean? Like these broads, these dames, and you know, a lot of these little words that we put in our vocabulary that came from like these little slick gangster movies and stuff like that. So I mean, that's my take on it. You're welcome to comment and speak your piece on it and stuff like that. That's all I really have to say about this particular subject. But yeah, holla at me. And like I say, always keep it decent, man. We're adults. We're grown. I don't like no back and forth disrespect in my comments, even if you're not directing to me. I don't like separate conversations that, you know, are conducive of negativity. So one love, peace, get at y'all.